John Heyman is reporting that Nick Castellanos has officially been released from the Phillies. The Padres are expected to have interest, and the United States men's hockey team gets going here in just about 10 minutes, taking on Latvia. The U.S. is currently plus 175 to win the gold medal, just behind the Canadians. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
And welcome in. Happy Thursday, everybody. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer's going to be taking over then. We got some distracted radio coming your way today because we got the U.S. men's hockey team about to take the ice against Latvia in their first Olympic match of the year. We got the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, the AT&T Pro-Am going on up in Northern California, which, by the way, Chris Gotterup, who just won the Waste Management Open, he's 6 under through 6 holes.
New star on the PGA Tour.
Gotterup, baby. He's about to be an American superhero is what's going on. Chris Gotterup on a run for the ages over the last 2 tournaments. It is San Diego Sports 760. We do have a couple of pairs of Charlie Puth tickets for you today. Charlie Puth just did a tremendous job as the Super Bowl pregame national anthem. We got some tickets for you to see him here in San Diego, so stay tuned for those. But we are going to start off today because I think we're the only show who's going to do it with some Team USA hockey. I don't know that Sammy and I are capable, at least I'll speak for myself. I don't know that I am capable of breaking down hockey in the rules fashion that we all want and need here. But we do have hockey starting in 10 minutes on the national stage. And if you remember the Four Nations face-off, that is the reason for my excitement leading into the U.S. Olympics, because there was something special that happened between the 4 teams that played in the Four Nation face-off. And for about a week and a half, it seemed like hockey had captured the entire attention of the American sports public. And that doesn't happen very often. In fact, the last time it may have happened was 1980 when the Miracle on Ice occurred. And then this year, you remember the drama between the Canadians and the Americans, with the Canadians kind of flipping the bird to our national anthem, and then 7 fights in the first 3 minutes of the game between those 2 teams. They have a real possibility of facing off for a gold medal here. I think that hockey has made some real serious strides, at least on the national stage. And I've been excited for this for weeks. And the fact that it's 10 minutes away, Sammy, I'm pumped up for some Team USA hockey.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I love watching hockey, and we don't talk about it a lot because it's not up there as one of the biggest sports in America. But the U.S. has come close 2 different times beating Canada. Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, has actually taken the U.S. out in overtime 2 different times.
Let's Tanya him.
Sorry, Tanya. That's but the big question. So
too far?
If you're we'll move past it. We'll move past it. The Canadians have some of the best, like forwards, and then Macklin Celebrini's the new superstar for San Jose, Connor McDavid. You go down the list. That Connor Bedard. They have so many guys at the forward spot that's super talented. Their big question mark, though, even as the favorite, is can their goaltending hold up? Because Darcy Kemper, who plays for the Kings, they don't really have the depth at the goalie spot that the Americans have, who has Connor Hellebuck, who's been one of the best goalies in all of hockey. The problem with the U.S., which is why if they don't win the gold medal, Jason Robertson and Alex DeBrincat and Cole Caulfield, some of the top 10 in goal scorers for the NHL currently this year, they left off the roster. So they have great defense in the Hughes brothers and a lot going on there, and the Kachuk brothers are going to kind of handle the offense, and Austin Matthews from Toronto, but hopefully they can score enough goals, because it was a little puzzling that they left off 3 top 10 goal scorers in the NHL who are from America.
So what I read a little bit about was they wanted to kind of stay committed to the team that they had for the Four Nations face-off, because that did go well, and that team was playing with some serious unity. And I think the Tkachuk brothers, or however you actually say their names,
Kachuk,
were a big part of it, and they were a big part of the leadership aspect of it, and they wanted to keep that tandem together, and they wanted to keep the group that they had in the Four Nations face-off together, because they all took pride in something, and that's important. The letters USA, they took pride in as a team. And I can't wait to see what we got going on. In fact, a bunch of different hockey teams in the Olympics are staying apart from Olympic Village because they wanted to be fully rested and ready to go for this. Team USA said, no, we want to do the full Olympic experience. We're going to stay in Olympic Village, which may have been a mistake if you've heard the stories that come out of Olympic Village.
We know why they wouldn't have stayed at Olympic Village.
Hell yeah, we do. But also, it is a different game, international hockey. You know, when you see international basketball and all of a sudden the ball is different and you're allowed to knock balls off the rim and it's not goaltending, like international basketball is just a little different. International hockey is too. So they kind of got to keep themselves in check a little bit, because if something happens to break out like it did in the Four Nations face-off, where there was like 5 fights in the first 15 seconds of a game.
Yeah, they just dropped the gloves immediately.
Everyone's ejected. Anyone who's involved in fighting in an Olympic game is ejected.
Yeah, what is this nonsense if we want to celebrate other countries? Screw that. I go, let them fight round one. Well, they're playing Latvia. They can just beat Latvia straight up.
I would hope so.
But
they should have had me and Sammy be on the team, so they had a couple of guys who, if they needed to go out there and just start punching, we could do the work. And if we get ejected, who cares?
They should have put like Canelo on the American team, or Terrence Crawford, and just threw him out there on skates and see if anyone wanted to fight him.
Would Canelo be able to be on our team? I think, isn't he Mexican?
Yeah, so that's why Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, we need Bud. Come on, Bud, get out there.
619 said, "Oh, look at my boys finally absorbing the Lord's game of hockey."
Dude, I love the Stanley Cup final. I think that it's one of the best playoffs that we have right now.
The greatest trophy in sports.
It's part maybe there, man. When you talk about intensity, there's nothing more intense than the NHL playoffs and how they do it. I think it's fantastic. But that's the only time I ever get excited about hockey, until the Four Nations face-off, until now, which in 5 minutes they're about to take the ice against Latvia. This has an opportunity to be a really fun run. So if you don't know the schedule, basically 12-10 is going to be their first 5 matches. And if they do okay in those matches, they get to go into the playoff, which the playoff gets going next week and into next weekend. And then the gold medal match is going to end up on a Sunday, by the way, at like 5 in the morning.
I think it's the last day of the Olympics.
Sunday, 5 a.m. We need to pack the bars around San Diego if Team USA is in there, and have a watch party somewhere.
I've been into the Olympics, man. I was watching a little speed skating last night.
So was I. Last night we can talk about it, right? What are the rules?
We can talk about last night.
How about the kid that won?
Yeah,
it was awesome. Got American gold. Did you see the story they did on him? How his dad used to do he built a track for speed skating in their backyard in Wisconsin.
Oh, no way.
He had like a quad that he fitted to be able to shovel snow around. So he literally built a track for him to practice on in his backyard.
Did you see the French beat us in ice skating?
I did. I wasn't thrilled about
for
that.
Madison Chalk, and what's the dude's name?
I don't remember, but the figure skating, I have a hard time watching because I don't know how they get scored.
Well, yeah, it's funny because they're like doing tricks, and then you'll hear them on the broadcast, like Johnny Weir, and then they're like, "Oh, they completely messed that up. That right. Twizzle or whatever was not on point." I'm like, it looked cool to me.
It's like if they land perfectly, but their skate is faced a quarter of a projectile to the right. It's like, oh. Major points down for that one.
Whoa, points off.
I don't get it, man. Any of the judge stuff kind of ticks me off, if I'm being completely honest. Like I saw some of the mogul skiing with the flips in the air and stuff, which is awesome, or as Sammy calls it, shalom skiing. But while you're watching it, you're like, oh, that trick was badass. And then apparently because they squatted a little bit when they land, it's no longer okay. Like that's the stuff that kind of ticks me off.
It would be hard to like speed skating, it's a race.
First, who's second?
So there's no like question mark. It would be hard to lose an Olympic medal by like Chalk and them lost by like 1 point. Like, I mean, it's complete off judging. That would be kind of harder to swallow than it would be like, oh, we got beat in hockey or our time wasn't fast enough skiing. If that feels like a little bit of a flaw.
All right, one more thing that's pissed me off about the Olympics, and then we'll get into the big three and talk about some sports that everybody cares about. But did you see the quad god, the dude who ripped the backflip for Team USA?
Yeah.
Do you know the backflip doesn't even count for anything?
Yes. My buddy told me that last night.
They said because nobody else can do it, they don't have scoring for it.
That's BS.
Okay, because nobody else can do it. That should just mean he wins. He can do the hardest thing you can do on ice skates. Congratulations.
Shout out to him, by the way, for doing something where he could fall flat on his face and ruin his whole set, and he won't get any positive bumps for it, and he's doing flips in the air.
It's like when Tyreek Hill knew he was going to get fined for doing the deuces, and he just did it anyways.
Throw it up.
It's just a cool thing to do, and it just shows you're that much better than everybody. So congratulations to the quad god, who's made us more proud than anybody in the U.S. Olympics so far. But let's go. Olympic hockey about to start. We got our boy Hella Book in the net. Oh, this is going to be fun, Sammy. I'm pumped for it. But let's get to the big three here, where Sammy Long rips through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, smash that puck.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
By the way, we know AJ Preller spoke. We'll have that sound for you in a little bit.
Yeah.
I know it's a big deal here, but I just wanted to get some excitement for hockey out of the way early.
Hey, you got to mix it up. You know what I mean? We're the only show in the city that's talking USA hockey today. So
if we're having fun, they're having fun. That's what I say. But you'll hear from AJ Preller talking like this in just a little bit. Don't worry.
I love AJ Preller pressers because it's like, we'll get into it.
Because he rips off 3 minutes at a time without saying a damn thing.
Yeah, he is a master.
He actually said some stuff today, though, so you want to hear this.
Yeah, it's a little spicy. He said some stuff without saying a lot. All right, but let's go to the Padres. Actually different, though. John Heyman reporting Nick Castellanos from the Phillies has been cut. The Padres are expected to be one of the teams that are interested. He is 34 years old, coming off a little bit of a down season for him with the Phillies. Would you like to see the Padres kick the tires on Castellanos?
I would, if they can get him in for a workout and see that he can hit consistently. Nick Castellanos is very famous. Do we all know why Nick Castellanos is famous for? Because he seems to hit home runs at really bad moments. And that's great. And he was a really good power hitter, but his numbers have been on the decline for the last couple of years. So if Nick Castellanos is to be a Padre, which I think he's earning like $20 million still from his old contract that is going to get paid to him regardless. So maybe he's willing to take a little bit of a discount to be on a better team. If the Padres can get him on a team-friendly deal that's not going to impact the quality of starter they're going to get on the other side, I'm fine with it. I think bringing in Nick Castellanos gives you a little juice. It does give you some power. I don't see him as an everyday player necessarily anymore. But I do think it'd be fun to get Nick Castellanos in. And then if tragedy ever strikes, a home run's coming.
I like it now that he's a free agent. When they were kicking it around and they were like, oh, you got to trade for him, especially considering the Padres a couple weeks ago had one player in the top 100 in the prospect system. That was Ethan Salas. He was number 90. He just fell out of it. So the Padres, because of the trade deadline that AJ Preller had, which we all praised him for, and has built this team up, and is obviously Ramon Laureano, Mason Miller, big parts of the team heading into this season. But the cost of that is that you gave away a lot of prospects. All your top prospects, DeVries, all these guys are gone. So the swing in the big trade at the deadline might not be there this year. Castellanos, despite him being a little bit of a down year, would require something from the Phillies. The Phillies aren't just giving him up for free. He is a guy who has had some big hits in postseason times before for the Phillies. It has felt like at times like when Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and Schwarber, those are the big three, but they haven't always played the best in the postseason. And guys like Castellanos has come through at times despite them evading that World Series title. So if you're just paying him on a minimum deal, I think it's a guy who could come in, who's a veteran leader and has been there, has been played in big games before. So I'm all for it if it's on a manageable contract where you're not sacrificing the money to go get a starting pitcher.
Manageable contract doesn't impact your ability to bring someone big in as a fifth arm. That's what you need more than anything.
Yeah.
What's next, Sammy?
All right, we're sticking with baseball. The Dodgers, very busy today. They just traded Anthony Banda to the Twins. The Dodgers, though, extended Max Muncy and re-signed Kike Hernandez. Is there a crack in the armor for the Dodgers, or is this team just stacked from head to toe?
I mean, it's as solid as it gets right now. I did find it kind of annoying, but probably the right thing to do when the Dodgers put out the Instagram post that they re-signed Kike Hernandez. Did you see this? They said 3 in a row sounds pretty nice because he's been part of the last 2 World Series teams. He does feel like kind of a glue piece for the Dodgers, and these were smart moves. And no, I legitimately 1 through 9. The Dodgers probably have starters that could go 1 through 14 offensively on most Major League Baseball teams, and they probably have 8 starting pitchers that would be top 3 guys on most baseball teams right now. That is how good this team is.
They're unreal. I mean, they are certainly the number 1 team in baseball. It's not even close. If I'm nitpicking here, you can look at the ages a little bit. Freddie Freeman's getting up there. I believe he's 37. Mookie Betts was coming off, had not his best season, dealt with a lot of injuries. Certainly got it going in the playoffs, but Freddie and Mookie were kind of slumping for a large portion of the year. You could point to the ages of some of the guys. Teoscar Hernandez getting up there. Now the problem for everybody else is that the Dodgers have 3 outfielders in the minor leagues that are like 22 years old and are ready to come up, but it's a bit of a logjam after they signed Kyle Tucker. You could point to the back end a little bit. Edwin Diaz was obviously an unbelievable signing for them, but they're kind of expecting that Tanner Scott has a bounce-back year, which he won't necessarily do. Alex Vestia had a good year for him. You see if he keeps it up. But they're stacked. I mean, the starting pitching rotation is literally, no joke, maybe one of the best ever put together.
And isn't it like 8 guys deep?
Yeah, I mean, Roki Sasaki isn't even a starting pitcher, and he could be. He was supposed to be the guy. But the one thing I will say everyone just expects the Dodgers to be in this dynastic run and no one can beat him. You remember, the Padres had him on the ropes and the Blue Jays had him on the ropes. So it's not like they just went through a Kobe and Shaq type run in the NBA Finals in the early 2000s where they went 16-1 and no one even came close. This team was on the brink multiple times.
Baseball just feels a little different because even if games are close, it's like you win on margins. And the Dodgers just have such a bigger margin of victory than anybody else because they can make a couple mistakes and they can have a couple of injuries and they could still just plow their way to 98 wins with a 1 seed in hosting or have home field advantage for most of the playoffs. Because even if they lose 2 or 3 starting pitchers, they're going to be fine. They lost 2 or 3 starting pitchers last year. It worked out better for them.
Right. They can just backfill. Let's go to the NBA. Kevin Durant was taking some shots at Luka Doncic.
I saw this. This was weird.
Nikola Jokic. So some people were making fun. I don't know. I guess the media. Kevin Durant always has some fakakta thing in his head about people coming after him, but was talking about how the USA team, LeBron, Curry, Kevin Durant are all old. And they were joking that he's not going to play. The Americans aren't going to play in the whole USA versus the world format, which is getting going at the All-Star game on Sunday. He took a shot at Jokic and Luka going, we'll ask the world team if they're going to play. Victor Wembanyama responded by talking about how it's always frustrated him as a kid watching the All-Star game and them not taking it seriously. And he made a vow to himself when he got in the league, he was going to take it seriously and try his hardest. Kevin Durant shot back and was like, yeah, sure, he didn't try last year. Overall question, are you excited for the USA versus the World All-Star game on Sunday?
If they take it seriously, I'm very excited for it. I think this is the right thing for the NBA to do. They're taking a bit of a swing. It comes off of the success of the Four Nations face-off, I think. But in hockey, like, if you play hockey, you're probably a little bit crazy, right? And these guys are all crazy competitors, and they went out there and they showed it, and it was physical, and it was emotional, and it meant something. If basketball can capture a quarter of that for USA versus the world, which, by the way, the most fun I've had watching professional basketball players play basketball was Team USA versus France when Steph Curry hit the shot. What did they call it? The golden dagger? It was incredible. So if they can bring a quarter of that to whatever this is going to be, I would be okay with this taking over as like the midseason tournament in the NBA. I would be okay with them expanding this, but just make it cool and try to make them care. And if they do, I think this could be awesome.
Right. I mean, and this coming from someone who loves the NBA, the All-Star game can't get any worse. So honestly,
Correct.
them trying something I'm all for it. If they play, it's going to be fun. I think the fact that there is so much talent from Europe. I mean, so look at the last American MVP was James Harden. So it's like Europeans have come in and kind of been dominating the NBA. It'd be fun to watch America and the world teams. I'm excited to see what it is. If they take it seriously, it's going to be fun. But, I mean, right, the hockey, it was great because the NHL All-Star game beforehand was unwatchable. The NBA All-Star game before them was unwatchable. The Pro Bowl's a disaster. Major League Baseball is the only one that's kind of okay to watch, and that's even gotten worse.
It's gone downhill. But the World Baseball Classic is awesome, and that's coming up in like a month.
Right, so if they take it seriously, it'll be fun. I'm curious to tune in and see if they are, but we'll see if Kevin Durant holds true to his word on Sunday afternoon.
Like, do you remember Trout versus Ohtani in the World Baseball Classic?
That was excellent.
All of a sudden, every TV switched because they're like, "Oh my God, this is a moment. This is a moment we have to watch live."
Teammates, America versus Japan. I mean, it was the script wrote itself.
Right. So if they take it seriously, we could be in line for something special. And think about it, like Kevin Durant going up against Wemby, Kevin Durant going up, like it'd be cool.
A one-on-one contest, tournament would be great. That would be the best.
But then our guys like Steph Curry just eliminated from it. Or does Steph Curry have an advantage because he can dribble around everybody? There's things that go into the NBA in one-on-one. I think a 3v3 tournament, like take Ice Cube's thing, but actually put the best players in the world and grab team captains. So like LeBron, Steph, Harden, whoever gets to pick their 3v3 teams, and you have 27 players who are all in a round-robin tournament. I think it'd be sick.
That would be cool. Or you separate guards and bigs.
Yeah. I think it'd be very, very cool. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. Charlie Puth tickets coming up very, very soon, plus an update on what's going on with Team USA and Latvia on the other side. We'll talk to you in a few. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Valley View Casino and Hotel. And by the way, if you don't have plans for Valentine's Day yet, what are you doing? Get plans. Go to the Black and Blue Steakhouse coming up this Saturday night. The most romantic steakhouse in all of San Diego. And your sweetie is going to get a free rose during dinner. But also tomorrow night, it's Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall. You can join Valley View Casino and Hotel and win up to $25,000. You could be one of 10 guests who's going to spin to win the $25,000 grand prize. That's right. 10 guests could walk away with 25 grand each. That's tomorrow night. Plus, more play is going to be awarded throughout the night. You can earn entries all month long through slot or table games and activate your entry multiplier at the guest service kiosk located throughout the casino. And then tomorrow night from 5 to 10, it's your chance to win. When you're there, don't forget to join the Players Club. Signing up is always quick, easy, and free. And when you join the Players Club at Valley View Casino and Hotel, you're going to get over $200 in free offers. We're talking about offers to enjoy instantly, like $10 of more play, $10 of match play, $20 to the Black and Blue Steakhouse, $10 to Patties and Pints, and so much more. The more you use your Players Club card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you're going to earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays, luxury gifts, and invitations to exclusive events. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel on February 13th, tomorrow, for Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall. And join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer is going to take over then. The brotherly connection already working out in Italy as Brady Tkachuk scores the first goal for Team USA, assisted by his brother Matthew Tkachuk and Zach Werenski. Team USA up 1-0. Briefly, we're up 2-0, but a coach's challenge from Latvia flipped it the other way. All right, we are going to talk some Padres here as AJ Preller has spoken out at spring training with the Padres. But if you missed the news earlier, Nick Castellanos released by the Phillies, and John Heyman listing the Padres, the Blue Jays, the A's, the Rangers, and the Reds as potential fits for Nick Castellanos, the slugger out of the Philadelphia Phillies, who's a free agent right now. And then earlier today, Evan Drellich put out a tweet. We've had Evan Drellich on the show before. He said Rob Manfred talked about the Padres today and said, the best I can tell you on the Padres is there's robust interest on what is viewed as a really appealing asset, talking about who is interested in buying the Padres. Everything feels like it's moving pretty quickly with this process, right? Because we know that it has to go through every Major League Baseball owner to approve a potential sale. We know that Dennis Lin reported that this thing could see first bids coming in by the end of February, which we're in February. The season is a month and a half away at this point from starting. So we may be seeing new ownership in San Diego early this year before the season begins. I don't know exactly when, but Manfred's already talking about
that'd
it.
Be fantastic. If they sold it before opening day, I mean, that'd be unbelievable because you don't have the collective bargaining agreement and everything that's going to happen next year with the likely holdout. So, I mean, you could do what the Dodgers are doing. What are the Dodgers doing? They're signing all these massive contracts, knowing that even though if they get the salary cap flipped, they're not making Shohei Ohtani change his contract or Kyle Tucker or Edwin Diaz or go down the list of guys. That's what the Dodgers are doing. They are getting all the contracts in now and going like, all right, well, then we'll play in the salary cap when it's done. If you get Friedkin or Leg Up or one of these guys who are willing to spend money and you could get some of these big time contracts in the offseason next year before the lockout happens, could spell good things for the Padres.
I'm still voting for Friedkin. He has my vote. He has the coolest name. He has the most money.
10 bill.
So Friedkin, come on by the Padres. All right, let's hear from AJ Preller, who spoke earlier today. He was asked once again about his contract situation. Let's hear what AJ said this time.
Don't really need next to the table. Is there any merit in waiting to find out? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think again, like I think that's definitely been an element that's a little bit different. Obviously, when you have your direct boss is somebody that is going to be here, so that's probably something for myself that's at least it's kind of just a different element that's been added to the whole conversation. I don't think that really is going to impact anything. I think from the beginning, in terms of like getting a deal done. I think like it's been, again, it's been pretty consistent, the conversation. And, ultimately, I think we're either going to do it or not. I don't think it's going to be, hey, we may have a new owner here at some point in time, and in the next few weeks, months, et cetera. So that's what's holding this up. Like that, I don't feel that at all, honestly.
Did he just say we're going to do it or we're not going to do it?
So we're either going to do it or we're not. We're either going to do it or we're not. I don't know exactly what's going on in AJ Preller's head. I'm positive there's 50 things we don't know about between AJ Preller and ownership and Eric Grupner and when this contract won't be signed for AJ Preller. But to me, that didn't exactly sound like it's getting done soon.
No.
And of course, I could be completely wrong of that. And AJ Preller could sign his contract tonight and this all just completely goes away. But first glance, hearing AJ talk, knowing how AJ talks, more importantly, that didn't seem to me like anything has changed in the last couple of weeks.
It doesn't make any sense if the Padres want him to be the GM and they're letting him act like the GM. They let him act like the GM at the trade deadline last year, where they let him trade one of the top prospects in all of baseball. They've let him make offseason signings, offseason moves, although not a ton, but he's been operating like the GM. If AJ Preller doesn't sign, I mean, this is a horrible look for the Padres. Like in what sport, the NBA, the NFL, go down the list, college football and college basketball now, because they have GMs with the NIL collective. Would you let someone be making moves for your baseball team, for your franchise, and then you don't have them under contract? And I love AJ Preller. I want AJ Preller to be here. I think what AJ Preller has done with a lack of resources is why he would have a lot of opportunities if he chose to go elsewhere. But like, it's just odd. I don't remember a time in any sport where a manager's contract has been this up in the air this late into the offseason. I mean,
it doesn't happen. If you were like me and you couldn't really hear AJ through the mumbles, here is the exact quote. Ultimately, I think we're either going to do it or not. I don't think it's going to be, hey, we may have a new owner here at some point in time in the next few weeks, months, etc. So that's what's holding this up. I don't feel that at all, honestly. So saying the ownership thing is not holding up his contract thing, which I have a hard time believing. But the important quote here is what Sammy heard, what I heard, the thing that perked up to everybody. Ultimately, I think we're either going to do it or not. I don't think it's going to be something else.
What I wish would have been asked after that was, when you say it's not the ownership, then what is it? Then simply tell us, what is the holdup? Is it money? Is it years of the contract? Is it terms? Like, it doesn't make any sense why this isn't signed. There's obviously a holdup on someone's end, and it's probably Preller, because
it's definitely Preller.
And to his credit, he holds all the cards.
Absolutely. He could hold them hostage if he wants for more money. He could hold them hostage for maybe a percentage. I don't know. Like, we know that Eric Grupner, when he signed his new deal, there was a percentage of the Padres breaked into it. Not a very big one, but a percentage of them. I don't know any other GMs that have a percentage of a team, but is that what AJ wants?
And Preller knows that they're going through a sale. They are not looking to spend money, as evidenced by Craig Stammen being hired as manager, because he wasn't some big ticket free agent. And AJ Preller, this is what's insane. He doesn't have a contract, yet you let him pick the manager, because if we remember right, AJ Preller convinced Craig Stammen to throw his hat in the ring when he wasn't even being looked at as a candidate. So you let him make offseason moves, you let him become the manager, pick the manager, and yet he's not signed for the foreseeable future. Interesting work by the Padres.
Sam, did you see Charlie Puth perform the national anthem?
Fantastic.
He did a pretty good job, man. And that note he hit at the end mixed with the flyover by the planes, I thought it was cinematic as hell. Hey, if you would like to go see Charlie Puth in concert, maybe he'll do the same thing for you with a flyover to boot. You can, and you do that by winning tickets on this here show. 877-767-4760 is the phone number to call. Sammy, what number you want to give these away to?
Let's do caller number 12.
Caller number 12 for Viejas Arena, April 22nd, Charlie Puth. Those tickets right now on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeart Radio app. Excuse me.
The sport is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. John Heyman has announced or has reported that Nick Castellanos has been cut from the Philadelphia Phillies. The San Diego Padres are expected to be interested in him. The Dodgers also extended Max Muncy and re-signed Kike Hernandez, but they traded back-end relief pitcher Anthony Banda today to the Twins. And the U.S. just went up 2-1 on Latvia in the middle of the first period in their opening round match against Latvia. If you have questions about youth or high school sports, Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy along with you. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 today with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 to 6. Listen for the keyword. Enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock. How about Wild Bill getting himself some Charlie Puth tickets? What up, Bill? Thank you for being here.
Bill's
Appreciate you listening, man. All right, we got some NBA stuff to talk about here. So, is it true that Dylan Brooks has now had 16 technical fouls on the season and has received
suspended for 1 game?
A 1-game ban for old Dylan Brooks.
It is the most expected information there is.
What happens when he gets to 20 technical fouls, you think?
I don't know. I gotta get the rule on that. Does it reset every time? Is it every one here on out you get a technical, or is it? It's not another 16 because Draymond was racking these things up left and right once he hit him.
I feel like not every technical foul is created equal. Also, you know, they have there's like an automatic T in both college and professional basketball when you say a word at a referee that you're not supposed to say. But other than that, the bad T's are when you like do a Draymond kick in the nuts.
Also, I will say this, and I'm not a Dylan Brooks fan, but a guy like Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks,
you need him.
You need them for defense, and a lot of teams who win has kind of a ringer like that, like Patrick Beverly or a guy like that. But when you get a reputation as being a guy, I mean, it's just human nature. These refs are like Draymond. Draymond acts like a fool a lot. But to be fair to Draymond will yell just as much as some other players and will get teed up. It's like because the refs are looking for it. So I will say that in defense of those guys. But again, Dylan Brooks is kind of a clown. So
all right, so tonight is the Lakers' last game ahead of the All-Star break. They play against the Mavericks, who will be without Cooper Flagg, and Cooper Flagg's sitting out All-Star weekend also, which is
he just hurt his foot yesterday.
So the Lakers will host the Mavericks tonight. I believe we have that game here on 760, so you can listen tonight starting at 7 o'clock right after the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show. But All-Star break feels like an appropriate time to do this. So you want to do a little top 5, Sammy?
Let's do a little top 5.
Let's do a little top 5.
Let's take the Thunder. I think we're both going to agree the Thunder are the favorites to win the NBA championship.
Sure.
Okay, so let's do top 5 threats to the Oklahoma City Thunder as of All-Star weekend. We'd love to hear from you as well. 70470. Start your message with team. Give us your top 5 threats in the NBA to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
East, West, don't matter?
Don't matter. Just top 5 threats, top 5 teams that you think are the biggest threat to Oklahoma City. Would you like to lead us off?
Sure. Number 5, Minnesota Timberwolves. I know they might not have the length and the depth that some of the teams near the top have, but they do have one thing, and that's Anthony Edwards. And I think he's an absolute badass. And I do think he's going to get his day in the spotlight in the NBA. So if there's a team that's going to push in the postseason to maybe make a run at a finals, I don't know that they have the depth for it. But I love the way they're built around the one guy. So give me Anthony Edwards as my number 5, not necessarily the team.
Okay, I like that. I like that pick. Number 5, I'm going to go with a little bit of a shot in the dark here. I think the Philadelphia 76ers, they're kind of my sleeper team in the Eastern Conference. I really like what they bring to the table. They don't play the most defense, but they have the guard depth to go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City with Maxey, Edgecombe on the wing, superstar rookie, Kelly Oubre up and down the lineup. Trendon Watford is having a nice season. The key for Philly, and we feel like we say this every year, is can Joel Embiid stay healthy? That hasn't always been the case, but if they're healthy in a 7-game series, I think they could actually pose some problems to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Number 4 might be a little confusing for this team, but I do think it's accurate here. It's going to be the Detroit Pistons, who right now I think have the second best record in all of basketball. And you might think that they would be the logical choice for maybe the number 2 team on this list. But I'm going to have them as number 4 because I still think they're a year away. It's a young team. It's a fun team, man. I really enjoy watching. If I had to pick a team to watch this year in the NBA, it's probably the Detroit Pistons. However, I think they're almost there, but not quite there. I think they can get found out early in the postseason.
I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets at number 4. Houston has the size to cause them problems. They're the tallest starting lineup in the league. Like even guys like Jabari Smith doesn't get talked about. Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün get all the headlines. But Steven Adams injury and the Fred VanVleet injury before the year, I think is a big loss. If Fred VanVleet was there and they had a true point guard, I think they might be actually the number 1 threat to Oklahoma City. The problem is this team has some problems getting into their offense because they don't have a traditional point guard. That's why I got him at 4.
Houston was going to actually be my number 3. Would you like to give out your number 2, Sammy?
I'm going to go, my number 3 is going to be Detroit. I think,
I think
3. Detroit, I'm kind of with you. You feel like they're maybe a little bit too early.
Well, they're a regular season powerhouse. Does it get done in a season, in a postseason where everybody cares as much as they do?
The Pistons, they need another star. They have a really collective talent of guys like Ron Holland, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart. They have a physical bunch of players. Amen Thompson's brother, Asar Thompson. Cade Cunningham can't do it by himself. I think there's a little bit of lack of shooting on this team, and I think that could get exposed, but they do play defense at a clip that could give Oklahoma City some problems in the finals.
2 is going to be Denver, and because we're running out of time, I'll just say one word and one word only. That's Jokic. If he's healthy for the postseason, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm with you on Denver there. Jamal Murray, Jokic. I'm curious if they have the depth, but those couple guys can always take you far in a series.
So is number 1 for both of us the San Antonio Spurs?
It is with a caveat.
It's the health of Wembanyama is my caveat.
San Antonio has the depth, has everything there. They have the guards, Harper, Vassell, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox. They have everything. My number 1 team, though, if this guy returns, the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum is practicing with the G League team. If he comes back in time, Tatum and Brown could give them headaches, and Peyton Pritchard and that whole staff in Boston.
Is there an expected return date for Tatum?
They thought he originally was going to be out for the year. He has been trying to usher along his timeline, so he's actually been working out and is working out with the G League team now.
To their credit, the Celtics have held serve. They're playing good.
They're the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. They've been fantastic. Kata's taken a step forward. Peyton Pritchard's fantastic guard. If he came back and was healthy, this team would be lethal. I don't know if that's going to happen, so that's why I had the Spurs as my favorite to knock them off. But Boston would be a team you would not want to play because they play excellent defense and they have 2 elite scorers if Tatum's back.
By the way, you watched something happen like last night. I don't know. Did you see Kawhi's game winner?
Unbelievable.
Like if the Clippers can play, remember they had that 2 or 3 week stretch where they were just beating everybody by 20 plus points. Kawhi was scoring 35 a night. It felt like if they can time that up to have it happen right when the postseason begins, don't you think the Clippers could be on that list?
I just don't think they play defense at a good enough clip.
I know, but it feels like when you talk about the star power, like when Kawhi completely takes over a game, if he can be healthy for an entire playoff stretch, they might have some motion in the playoffs.
It's like the Clippers and Sixers are the same thing. It's always if they can be healthy. If they can, I don't see the Clippers are different. I don't think they have the depth. Like Garland and Matherin's fun, but getting rid of Zubac, Harden, I think was a good move for them for the future, getting off him, but I see what you're saying. I mean, Kawhi Leonard can obviously go off in any game, but I don't think the Clippers have the depth to hang with the top teams in the West.
And we did kind of see him do it. Like that Toronto team, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily stacked.
It was just him and Lowry. That was basically it.
Like Fred VanVleet looked like a superstar on that team.
Yeah. And
I don't know, man. Kawhi might be able to do it.
The Clippers?
They're not on my list, but I'm saying maybe they're an honorable mention. If they can,
I'm very critical of the Lakers. I would have the Lakers actually above the Clippers in terms of that.
All right. Well, we got some fun coming up because Long Shots is returning. And what I know about Sammy Long is this will never happen twice in a row. Long Shots next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. The Brian Dutcher Coaches Show is coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. John Schaefer is sitting down with the head coach of the Aztecs and previewing Saturday's game versus Nevada. The Brian Dutcher Coaches Show tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Dutch also very good about answering your questions live. So text 70470. Start your message with the word team. A little later on today, John Schaefer, Coach Dutcher for a full hour here on San Diego
What's cool
Sports
about Coach
760.
Dutcher? And this isn't just like because we have the Aztecs like glazing them, but like being like real honest. Coach Dutcher takes like questions whether they win or lose. Like so many coaches around college basketball like will not do that. They're not sitting down for an interview. What?
That's just glaze, bro. Come on.
No, it's like respectable. Like he sits there and like actually takes questions. Like so many guys will only talk to like the desk after the postgame show if they win.
Sure. All right, we got a text line coming in.
So leave me out to dry like that.
I'm just like, yeah, Dutch is great at answering questions.
That's what I said. I'm saying, you never mind.
But I think every head coach in college basketball.
No, not every head coach in college basketball sits and answers questions post game with the local radio station.
I'm pretty sure every coach does for the most part.
Schaefer was just telling me they don't. All right, fine. That's called your co-host leaving you out to dry when you say something.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I think you're probably wrong on that one. But Dutch is great with the media. He's great on the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show.
Are you saying Brian Dutcher's terrible with the media?
No, I think he's awesome with the media.
What was that?
858 texting in saying a 1v1 tournament would save the NBA All-Star Weekend. I don't disagree. 913 Fletch, any update on the Margaritaville Seals event? Yes, we will be giving away tickets to that coming up Tuesday on Big Rich TV and Fletch in the morning. And then we'll be hosting a whole section out there. Sammy, you want to go? I don't have a +1 yet.
To a Seals game?
Next Saturday night? Not this upcoming one, the one after?
Maybe.
Margaritaville night? It's going to be live music.
Are there margaritas there?
Lots of margaritas.
Okay. Yeah.
Might be able to get you a ticket. It'd be fun.
What happened to Kendall +1?
She's busy. She can't go. She's going to like a 1-year-old's birthday party that I'm stoked I don't have to go to. All right, let's get to long shots here. Do we even want to mention what happened last night in long shots or just?
Well, in my defense, I'm going to stick up for myself. Joel Embiid was a late scratch. I wouldn't have bet the Sixers to cover the spread had I known Joel Embiid was not going to play. It was a bad night. It was a rough night. UConn decided to not cover the spread by 2 points. The Sixers got their doors blown off. They got beat by 49. That's like betting where you have to sit there and just laugh and go, you know what? It was the Knicks night.
Well, today, let's do a little Tuesday. Let's get back into the swing of things.
I can't control when Jose Alvarado hits 8 threes for the New York Knicks.
Let's see the ball go in the basket. Sammy, go ahead, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
Not a whole lot to choose from tonight, Sammy. You got like what, 3 NBA games?
3 NBA games, not a single top 25 matchup.
Lots of bye weeks around college basketball this week.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to a little Tuesday with the NBA. We're gonna start with Bucks Thunder. So Oklahoma City's favored by 12.5 in this one. Everyone's getting ready for the All-Star break. Kind of last night of NBA action before they're up in LA for the weekend. We're gonna hit the under in this game. Okay, so the under is currently at what do I got here?
212.5.
Okay, I got 213.5 on ESPN. 212.5. We're gonna go with the under here. Here's the injury report. I know that sounds like a very low number, but Shea's out, AJ Mitchell's out, Jalen Williams is out, Isaiah Hartenstein's out. Basically, everyone is resting for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And on the Bucks side of things, Giannis is out, Taurean Prince, Ryan Rollins, and Kuzma are game time decisions. I think Oklahoma City coming off a dominant win last night over the Phoenix Suns. They're kind of coasting into this thing. They're the number one team in the Western Conference. They're chilling. Trust me, they're not going all out to win this game tonight. I like the under. There's gonna be a lot of young guys playing. Under 213.5 for Bucks and Thunder. That's the first Amazon Prime video game of the night. And then at night, we're going with the Lakers against the Mavericks. Final game for the Lakers. I don't usually like picking my boys because I don't want to jinx them. We are going to take the Lakers on the spread here. -6.5. Lakers kind of had a lot of momentum over the weekend. You would come off a big win over Philly, took it to the Warriors. No Curry in that game, but Luka wasn't playing either. So had some momentum, rough back-to-back nights. I mean, the Spurs game, I'm not killing them for that. They had all 5 starters were out for this one. Luka is still out. Aiden's a game time decision, but LeBron will be back. Austin Reeves will be back. And Marcus Smart will be back in the lineup tonight. They're going to let Reeves play a little bit more because he's been on a little bit of a minutes restriction coming back from that injury he suffered on Christmas night. But I bet they let him go a little bit longer in this game because you have the All-Star break and a big rest coming in the next week or so. So I think the Lakers do cover the spread, -6.5. No Cooper Flagg tonight for Dallas. Najee Marshall, also who scored 31 points the other night in their last matchup, is questionable as well. Mavericks coming into this on an 8-game losing streak that the Lakers actually started a couple weeks ago. I think the Lakers close out the All-Star break with a W. I'm going to take the Lakers on the spread, -6.5. So Lakers -6.5, and we're going to take the Thunder and the Bucks, the under in that one, under 213.5. Not a lot of the stars playing in that one.
We are submitted, trusting Sammy, faith in Sammy, even though our buddy Rich said Sammy's Lakers picks never hit. I'm going to ride with you on this one.
My Lakers picks are money.
Sometimes.
First off, you don't get to talk because I don't think you've ever hit a pick on here. I'm not kidding you. Every time you've added to long shots, you have either messed up the parlay or it has somehow ruined it. And then, last week I hit a 3v3 and then he had the audacity to text me and complain that he got the over-under in the Lakers game wrong himself. So then was ripping me when all of us in San Diego got it at the price that I told him to bet it at.
But I didn't get it at that price.
Right. So that's a you problem. We all got it at 234.5. You got it at 235.5.
It was just the number that was available.
That's what's called waiting and not putting in my lineup later on in the day.
You know what can fix this for everybody? Anyone out there who's been hurt by Sammy's picks in the past, you can win some Charlie Puth tickets right now. The Puthster is coming to Viejas Arena coming up on April 22nd. If you want to go to the show, maybe a Valentine's gift for somebody special out there for you, 877-767-4760. A pair of tickets to Charlie Puth on the line right now. Sammy will go with caller number.
Let's do 13.
13. You're going to the show at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Sport sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving, reported by John Heyman. Nick Castellanos is now a free agent after the Phillies have cut him, eating about $20 million left in his contract. The Padres are expected to be interested on the 34-year-old slugger. The Dodgers also extended Max Muncy today and re-signed Kike Hernandez, while also trading relief pitcher Anthony Banda to the Minnesota Twins. And the U.S. men's hockey team is in action right now against Latvia. They're currently tied 1-1 at the end of the first period, with the U.S. having 2 disallowed goals early on in the first. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
And let's get it going here. It's hour number 2 on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Coach Kentera is going to be stopping by at 1:30. We'll get his thoughts on what AJ Preller said earlier today. We'll get his thoughts on Nick Castellanos, who is the latest name, who, I mean, he's not attached to the Padres other than the fact that John Heyman said he would be a fit with the Padres. But let's talk about it seriously and text us 70470. Start your message with the word team. You want Nick Castellanos, and what's it going to take? I don't know. Truthfully, he's going to make $20 million this year from the Phillies, regardless of where he plays. That money's owed to him. I think outside of the veteran minimum, he can get the full $20 given to him maybe as soon as they release him. He might be having that hit the bank account today. But for the Padres, what's it going to take to get him? I don't know if it's a 1-year thing that the Padres can do right now, $7 or $8 million. Is that worth it to everybody out there?
Probably going to be a minimum deal.
Probably. We'd love to hear from you. 70470. Start your message with the word team. Here is why I say get Nick Castellanos on the team immediately. Not because last year his numbers were down and he only hit 250 with 17 home runs, had 72 ribbies and 72 runs scored. Not because of any of that. No. Hopefully his numbers go up next year. But the reason you want him on the team, do you know why the Phillies ended up benching him down the stretch of the season?
Because he brought beer in the dugout. This
Padres team over the years has looked a little bit like they're not having fun when they're playing. You know who has some fun? The dude that's bringing beer into the dugout during a baseball game. Nick Castellanos has a vibe around him, man. And I do think it'd be good for a Major League Baseball locker room. Nick Castellanos obviously is a name that is going to draw some more people to the ballpark. Not that Petco Park really needs help with that, but I do think it's a valuable ad because he can hit left-handed pitching and he can hit it for power. So bring Nick Castellanos in. 1-year minimum deal. What do you have to lose? I think it's a great deal.
Right. I mean, he's played in big moments. He's been kind of the unsung hero in Philly a lot of the years. I mean, again, the Philadelphia Phillies will be studied in about 10 years or so for one of the most kind of being the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball. I mean, they have all the talent in the world. You look at the lineup, it doesn't really make sense why they haven't won. I mean, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, the starting pitching staff has been unbelievable. And then you have Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber. It doesn't really make sense. And it feels like, you know, the 1 year they lost the World Series to the Astros, and every season they kind of get picked. But Castellanos has been a player that's come up in big moments for the Phillies. I wasn't for trading him because not only did you not want to give up capital in terms of prospects, but you didn't want to eat that $20 million. I mean, the Padres are obviously already cash strapped. We talk about it ad nauseum because it's the truth. And getting a guy who's 34 years old, right, coming off his worst year, hitting 250. His best year is when he had 309 batting average in 2021.
Also had 34 bombs that year.
Right. I mean, this is a guy who can get it done. And on a minimum deal, the Padres or the Phillies are paying him $20 million not to be there. You add him into a veteran presence, another bat. I'm all for it. Again, on a reasonable contract, on a minimum level deal. I wouldn't go spend your starting pitching money to try to get Nick Castellanos if it creates a little bit of a bidding war. But I think if it's on the minimum deal, no harm, no foul. This is a guy who's been there before. Hopefully maybe could be a leader in the locker room and would add another bat, because although the Andujar signing was nice, I don't think resting your hitting woes on Miguel Andujar is the right way to go.
Well, maybe Nick Castellanos brings a little slug to this team, which was desperately missed last year. And if you have someone who can get up with runners on and just hit the ball hard, man, good things happen. And for the Padres, that's been a missing key ingredient over the last couple of years. But I agree, Sammy, having someone who's been there, who's done that, adding that to this locker room. If he's available, if it doesn't break the bank, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense not to bring in Nick Castellanos. We'd love to hear from you, 70470. Start your message with the word team. Coach Kentera, we'll react to that with him coming up at 1:30 right now. It's time for the big three of our number 2. And do we have an update on this hockey game, Sammy? Is it still 1-1?
It's 1-1. The U.S. had 2 disallowed goals for goaltender interference.
Come on. We're letting Latvia hang around. It's in between the first and second periods right now. We'll keep you updated on the game. Sammy, go ahead. Smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Couple ways for you to watch the show on X at Fletch and Sammy. Find us there on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. Our buddy Fridge Watcher is in the YouTube chat saying, "Hola, boys. Hola to you, Fridge Watcher."
Hell yeah, Fridge
Thanks for
Watcher.
being here, my friend. Sammy, where are we going?
We're going to the NFL. Joey Porter, the longtime great corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers, calls out Big Ben Roethlisberger, saying he wasn't a good teammate or person. Joey Porter Sr., not Joey Porter Jr., who currently plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, ripping his former teammate in Big Ben. What do you make of the comments? And how do you look back at where would you stack Big Ben all time on a quarterback list?
All right, let's save that for a second. Let's react to Joey Porter first. So Joey Porter, he was on a podcast and he talked about Big Ben and James Harrison both talking about Tomlin on their respective podcasts throughout the entire end of the season, saying, yeah, it might make sense for Mike Tomlin to move on from the Steelers. And Joey Porter said they both broke the brotherhood by talking about that at that time and saying maybe it is time for the Steelers and Tomlin to move on. What exactly is Joey Porter doing by saying Big Ben not only is a bad person, but also a bad teammate? Kind of breaking the brotherhood. Joey Porter was on that Super Bowl team that won the championship with Big Ben. And so it seems a little hypocritical to me in one sense. In the other sense, we all know that Big Ben's not the best guy. We all remember the stories that came out about Big Ben Roethlisberger. There's no need to retell any of them or go into them. But I would just say he's not really saying anything new. It's just odd the timing of it and why it's coming out right now and why he's saying it in the first place doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I will say it feels like he broke the brotherhood right back. And when you ask, where do you put Big Ben all time? He's somewhere in the top 15, not top 10 to me. If that makes sense. He's a Super Bowl winner. He did stuff that we hadn't really seen out of an NFL quarterback before. He is responsible for maybe the greatest Super Bowl throw of my lifetime, the toe tap in the end zone. So, yeah, Big Ben, he's top 15 all time, not top 10.
I don't get why Joey Porter Sr. is going on a podcast and doing this. I mean, I don't know if it's you want to be back in the limelight or what. Like, I'm not sitting here defending Big Ben, but I mean, you played with him all those years, and like we're bringing up old accusations and stories and charges. That just feels a little unfair. I don't really know what Big Ben did to him. Why randomly this would come up? I mean, Big Ben hasn't even been in the news, and all of a sudden he's just ripping him to shreds on a podcast. Feels a little unfair, especially since he got you a Super Bowl. Big Ben, it's odd because you kind of look at him as one of these guys who. That draft class, you get Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers. They always get compared. Eli had 2, and Big Ben had 2, and then the Rivers had none, but Rivers had some of the most talent there is. Big Ben is you always kind of have that narrative that he never got over the hump of Brady, but he did. Like he had 2 Super Bowls. You feel like some of those offenses were wasted, and maybe Big Ben gets looked down more later in his career because he had one of the greatest offenses of all time. Remember that Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, that offense was lethal, unbelievable, and they could never kind of crack it over the top. But I do feel like Big Ben gets a little bit overlooked in terms of some of the big-time quarterbacks of his decade because after Brady and Manning, I mean, he's right there. He has a claim to fame just like anybody else in the 2000s.
Well, the 2006 Super Bowl, he rode an incredible defense to a Super Bowl and an incredible run game, by the way. He didn't do a whole lot in that Super Bowl. But the second one, the one where they beat the Cardinals, the final score was somewhere in the high 20s but it was passing.
Antonio Holmes. Yeah.
It was him. That was a Big Ben win for the Super Bowl because remember Larry Fitzgerald went stupid in that game too.
Is that our new thing though, that we're assessing how quarterbacks play in a Super Bowl despite them winning? That feels like the thing.
Have to. Trent Dilfer exists as a Super Bowl champion. Did Trent Dilfer do anything to earn that Super Bowl championship?
Starting quarterback.
Yeah, but what did he do?
I mean, I feel like it's a little unfair.
It's not. It's absolutely not.
Okay, so then like I'll flip it on your guy. Like then you talk about how Brock Purdy's done more than most of the players in the NFL at the quarterback position. Did you think he played a good Super Bowl?
Yes. I think Brock Purdy, both times or the time he got to a Super Bowl.
Time he got to a Super Bowl?
He played an entire incredible NFC divisional round, NFC championship.
No. We're talking about the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear about the run. I'm talking about the Super Bowl.
Fine in the Super Bowl. He played good enough to win. He had the field, or he had the lead when he left the field.
I mean, he missed Ayuk in the back of the end zone, but that's fine if you want to keep telling yourself that. I think it's too hard.
We never talk about the drop punt, do we? Never talk about it.
No, I'm trying to even defend your boy. I'm talking about it feels unfair that we're minute picking guys who have won a Super Bowl. Like Sam Darnold this week won a Super Bowl, and all I hear all week is, well, I mean, it's the defense. Like, he went.
It's the eyeball test, Sammy. It is. And I don't think people are wrong for criticizing Sam Darnold a little bit and not holding him to the same level. Sam Darnold played excellent in the NFC Championship game. He did. He played excellent.
And by the way, was the catalyst why they won that game.
Sure.
They scored 38 points.
But he was not the reason they won the Super Bowl. I'm just saying,
he didn't turn the ball over.
Like Jalen Hurts gets a ton of credit and well-deserved because on the way to that Super Bowl and in the Super Bowl he lost, he played amazing.
Right.
I don't know that Sam Darnold gets the same credit. I don't think Trent Dilfer should get the same credit. I don't.
I think comparing Trent Dilfer and Sam Darnold is very unfair. Trent Dilfer had one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen. The Seahawks had a great defense. That's not one of the greatest defenses we've ever seen.
And Big Ben has 2 Super Bowls to his name. One of them, I think, should go more to the defense. The second one goes to him.
But at the end of the day,
that's fair.
So we talk about Eli Manning. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls over New England, and they scored 17 points. But he has 3 of the most iconic throws of all time in a Super Bowl.
And those throws get him over the hump. It's the eyeball test. And it's not good or bad, but there's levels of it. Like we've seen incredible Super Bowl performances. Patrick Mahomes has incredible Super Bowl performances. That's why we give as much praise to him as we do.
But you just said Eli Manning passes the eyeball test.
Because of the throws, because of the moments.
But they didn't score that many points in those games.
Had to have it. He got it done.
Okay. You could say the same thing for Sam Darnold. Eli Manning had one of the best defenses we've ever seen. Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, Steve Spagnuolo. It's one of the great defensive coordinators of all time, winning 4 Super Bowls in his tenure with the Chiefs and the Giants. I feel like we're nitpicking quarterbacks now. Like if we're
just across the board,
no,
Super Bowl champion is an all-time great. Is that what we're saying?
I'm not saying he's all-time great. I just want you to be fair because if we're
how am I not? Brock Purdy lost the Super Bowl.
No, I know. If we're gonna rip Sam Darnold guys for not looking good in games, then I guess the thing is not to just win the games, just to look good. Then I guess
no, not at all. And sometimes it's circumstantial. It's totally circumstantial, and that's not everyone's fault. But it's when your back is against the wall, do you make the big play?
Did Sam Darnold not make the big play?
He played fine in the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying he could have been replaced by any number of people, and they still win that Super Bowl because he wasn't asked to do that much.
I just have different values over how you play in a game. Like you at some point have to win the game. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, these guys get crushed because they haven't won the game. They've looked good in a lot of these playoff games.
But there's also the fact that I think everybody who was in the NFC playoffs this year probably beats that New England Patriots team.
Right, but you also talk about how the Rams were the number 1 threat all season, and they beat them en route.
And I just gave them a ton of credit for the NFC Championship game.
Exactly. And then you were just talking about how you, before the end of the season, were talking about how your Niners were going to get home field and win the whole thing. He beat the Niners twice.
Beat the crap out of them, too.
So, I mean, like, I just feel like it's unfair to Sam Darnold that all of a sudden he's getting, like, kind of blasted this week for winning a Super Bowl. I mean,
I don't know if anyone's blasting him.
They're just not giving him credit.
You can't put him in the same conversation. It wasn't an all-time great Super Bowl performance, and I think that's totally fair.
I'm not saying it was an all-time great Super Bowl performance.
It's not even his fault. Had he been pushed a little harder, this is more the Patriots' fault than Sam Darnold's fault.
Right, but
I just shouldn't get the same credit as Mahomes for beating a stacked Niners team, as Jalen Hurts for beating the Chiefs, taking down the Dragon. Like, it's different.
I agree with that. But you compared him to Trent Dilfer. I think that is
that is a crazy over-the-top comparison. I wasn't comparing the two of them together. You said, "Are we nitpicking quarterback performances in Super Bowls?"
I just feel like
because Trent Dilfer exists.
At the end of the day, he won the game, and I feel like I get it. I'm not sitting here saying that Sam Darnold is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, or I take him over Mahomes or Allen or Lamar. Like, no, obviously not. But I feel like this week, I mean, So we're discrediting, you talked about Big Ben at 2 Super Bowls, kind of the first Super Bowl, we're discrediting him because he didn't have a great game. I mean, Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Peyton Manning was dreadful in that game against the Carolina Panthers. So that one doesn't count for Peyton Manning.
I feel like you might be making a bigger deal out of this than it was. I'm just saying Big Ben played really great in one Super Bowl and didn't do much in the other. That was how this whole thing started.
That's fair, but you kind of insinuated that he shouldn't get as much credit for that.
No, 913. The only way to settle this is arm wrestling. And 858, the second Super Bowl goes to Santonio Holmes. It was a great catch, but it was also an incredible throw.
Well, I mean, I'm responding to the fact of you talking about nitpicking guys' performances in Super Bowls. They have rings.
They have rings, and no one's going to take those away from them. Trent Dilfer will always be a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Exactly.
Always will be. You got one more for us, or are we out of time?
Let's go to the other side.
We'll get it on the other side. Some more thoughts on Castellanos, plus a great text on Castellanos. Can't wait to get to that. And we'll get those on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John Schaefer going to take over then. We got Coach Kentera coming up in about 9 minutes, joining the show here. Talk some Padres with the coach. Hey, if you're a baseball fan and you felt ticked off at any point in the last, 5 years by the Los Angeles Dodgers, Jeff Passan just wrote the article for you. It's up. I'm going to retweet it right now, actually, at my Twitter account, at Fletch Sports. You can find it there. But Jeff Passan wrote an article that's free to everybody. You don't have to have ESPN Plus to read it, but breaks down where baseball is right now. And I think the one line that really sticks out to me more than anything is the line he got from a team official, anonymous source. And it says this. So owners, this isn't the quote yet. Bear with me for a second. He's talking about the disparity between owners and the Players Association right now. He says nearly every owner believes Major League Baseball needs a salary cap. Its presence, the owners say, immediately would juice franchise value with labor cost essentially fixed and no more chasing Dodgers teams spending $500 million annual on players. So that is what Jeff Passan lays out. And this is the anonymous source. Quote, they are ready to burn the effing house down when it comes to what's going to happen in 2027 for Major League Baseball. So
The players or the owners?
the owners are ready to burn the effing house down.
Yeah.
Because most owners, not named the Dodgers, are seeing NFL teams' valuations rise like crazy, seeing NBA valuations rise like crazy. By the way, NBA heading for an expansion potentially this offseason. And they look at baseball and the numbers are growing, but not nearly as fast as the other sports. So
right,
they're
and
saying,
the rich are getting richer. Your Dodgers, your Yankees, Mets, teams like that, where really the big market teams are getting better, but the smaller market teams are not necessarily.
right, because you have 13 teams in Major League Baseball right now without a TV contract, which is crazy.
That's insane that a Major League Sports league, one of the most popular in America, the teams don't. I mean, that's not even fathomable.
The Mountain West has a freaking TV contract.
Right. I mean,
can we be dead serious right now?
The NFL is obviously has their own ticket package. Every NBA team has a broadcast network and TV package. It's insane that a baseball organization would not have that.
It is crazy. So, and that's a huge chunk of cash that a lot of owners are missing out on. So they believe, whether they're right or wrong, will be not seen for another 15 years or so. The salary cap would fix most of these issues because the salary cap would make the league a little more competitive, a little more fair feeling. And Jeff Passan details in this article, he's like, a lot of fans are going into this season without a lot of hope. And that's a bad spot for any professional organization, franchise, sport to be in, with fans thinking that there's only one team that's going to win the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals. It's a bad spot to be in.
It also, I think, adds to, because the MLB season is so long, it's the NFL, the best roster you could have an injury to a key position. And I mean, look, after a month, you could be 0-4 and you're on the outside looking in. Why people love the NFL so much is we've heard the stats. Teams that start 0-2, only 13% of the time make the playoffs. I mean, there is an urgency to the NFL and college football that there just isn't that there aren't in the college basketball and the NBA, and certainly in Major League Baseball, where you're playing 162 games. Because, I mean, in the middle of July, it's hard to, one single game doesn't have massive importance. So I think that adds to the lack of excitement. Is it's not like the Dodgers aren't making the playoffs. The season really starts in September, October, because the Dodgers are making the playoffs, and then it's going to be, can a team beat them? And yes, everyone's going to be trying to claw in, and there's going to be teams that are going to have shots to beat them. The one thing I would say is, for the Dodgers' dominance, again, I go back to this, the Padres had them on the ropes. They went 24 scoreless innings.
Sure.
The Blue Jays had them on the ropes. I thought the series was done when it went back to Toronto. So, are the Dodgers unbeatable? No, but it's a tricky thing, because you have players. The Dodgers obviously love it because they're getting all the players. You have certain owners who love the rules, and then you have players who secretly don't want this to change because they want average players.
Not even secretly. They are out in the players, in fact, are pushing for more. They want a cut of the revenue. They want a cut of the TV contracts that are out there, of the shared revenue. Like, the Major League Baseball Players Association is so strong, they're going above just saying, don't you ever put a salary cap into this sport. We also want a cut of what you're making year after year.
Right. Average players are getting paid massive big deals because teams have the money. They can just throw them at a certain select group of teams, can just throw excess amounts of money. I mean, Tanner Scott was horrible for the Dodgers last year. He's making $20 million this year. I mean,
not only does the Players Association not want the current rules to change, but they actually want to go more in favor of the players, which is crazy in Major League Baseball because it's already the most favorable for the players.
I mean, you
of
have
any
to,
sport.
you have to get a salary cap, and you have to have a salary floor. It's insane that baseball is the only league and the MLB where there is about 10 teams that are you could be eliminate on opening day or not even have a shot at the World Series. Maybe more like 15.
Would anyone have thought that the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bengals would not be in the postseason this year? No. But it happened. Is there a 1% chance that the Dodgers don't make the postseason this year? No. They're going to make the postseason this year. I would feel very confident.
Those three teams where we get to break. I mean, Lamar, Mahomes, all these Burrow and the entire defense, massive injuries. That's why the NFL is unreal, because you could have the most talented roster. Look at the Chargers. Their entire offensive line got hurt. They went home in the first round.
We've had 30 years of peace in Major League Baseball. I think that's coming to a close here. And we'll see if they miss the entirety of the 2027 season or somebody caves. But something big is coming down the road. And it's going to be great for Sports Talk Radio. I do have a feeling that is the case. It's San Diego Sports 760. Coach Kentera on the other side, plus another pair of Charlie Puth tickets. Don't go anywhere.
This sport is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Currently, right now, the U.S. men's hockey team is up 2-1 over Latvia, a little over halfway past the halfway point of the second period. They also had 2 disallowed goals due to goalie interference in the first period. Lakers, last game before the All-Star break tonight, taking on Dallas. No Luka, no Cooper Flag in that one, but that game will get going at 7 o'clock. And the Lakers are currently favored by 6.5. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. We got one more pair of Charlie Pooh tickets that we'll give out right after we speak with the legend himself, Coach Kentera, who's joining us today here on San Diego Sports 760. Coach, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Fletch. Thanks for having me on. And I heard Sammy give the score of the U.S. hockey game. Yeah, I've been a little frustrated. They're up 2-1 right now, but you thought maybe they were going to take a big lead there at the end of the first period, but it was 1-1, but they've scored early, so 2-1 and a couple of disallowed goals, but they're playing pretty well right now.
It feels to me like they've scored 4 goals and have had complete control of this game. Yeah. Even the 1 goal for Latvia, it didn't really seem like it was some crazy overpowering thing. It seemed more like a fluke. But hopefully Team USA can get through this, and we'll see in a couple weeks if they're fighting for the gold. That would be pretty stinking fun. All right, Coach, not sure if you saw it, but AJ Preller met with the media today out in Peoria. He had a couple of quotes. Yeah. I'll read this one out of Dennis Lynn's article. It went like this. Ultimately, I think we're either going to do it or not. I don't think it's going to be, hey, we may have a new owner here at some point in time in the next few weeks, months, etc. So that's what's holding it up. I don't feel like that's it at all, honestly. He's talking about his contract situation right now and why one has not been signed. Any thoughts on AJ Preller's comments today about his contract?
Well, I think AJ has done a very good job. If you go back to FanFest, about 10 days ago, he tap danced around that and said, I've been awful busy, trying to put this roster together. I thought you really tried to kind of give ownership a little bit of an alibi by kind of blaming himself. But, I'll be honest with you. If I'm AJ Preller, I got 1 year to go, and, I don't know what he's exactly making. I'm sure he's going to get a little bit of a raise for the job that he's done. It's not like they don't know him. And I know they've been talking since probably at least October and definitely in November, because I remember talking with AJ and asking him how it's going. He goes, well, we're talking. I go, you going to get this thing done? And he said, yeah, we're going to get it done at some point. But I also think if you're AJ, I think you'd want to get that thing done. You got to understand, he represents himself. He doesn't have an agent. I mean, it's just AJ Preller. He wants to be here. I know him pretty well, guys, and he wants to be here. He loves San Diego. He loves the fan base. He's got this thing, going right now in the right direction. Who's to say, with a new owner that they come in here and they may have their own ideas. They may want to bring in a new everything. New owners normally they want their management. But if I'm AJ, I want to get a deal done, because if they come in and they don't want me, while I'm looking for another job, they still got to pay me. So if I'm AJ, I want to get this deal done right away. Now, if you're the Seidler family and the ownership group, maybe you don't want to sign him because you want to give the owner, the new owner, an opportunity to come in and bring in his own guy. And I guarantee you this, a new owner doesn't want to come in here. And if he's already got somebody in mind to be the head of baseball operations and general manager, last thing he wants to do when he first walks in the door is fire the current guy that's gotten them to the playoffs 4 out of the last 6 years.
Coach, Nick Castellanos, a free agent today. They Phillies cut him. I know there was an incident with him bringing beer into the dugout and kind of led to him being on the outs there in Philly. Would you like to see the Padres kick the tires on him?
Well, I don't think there's a need, really, Sammy. I mean, you got one of the best right fielders in all of baseball. If you recall, when Castellanos actually came up with Detroit, very young player, was a third baseman, and then his career materialized. He ended up being an outfielder, and you got Ramon Laureano out there, in left field for this year. He's going to be making $6.5 million. So no, I don't think you need Castellanos on this roster. You know, the one guy I guess I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how he performs. I don't know if he's going to, how much the outfield he's going to play, but Sung Moon Song, I'm very anxious. He's going to be the one guy that I really pay a lot of attention to because if this guy can come over and make a quick adjustment to be able to hit a major league fastball and get acclimated with all the things that foreign players have to get acclimated with, this guy might really help this ball club this year. And of course, signing Miguel Andujar, the big thing with him, we got to put him in a bubble and keep him healthy. When the guy's been healthy, he's been a hell of a hitter. But, you know, he had that 27 home run year, his rookie year, and then he also broke Joe DiMaggio's rookie record with the Yankees with 47 doubles that year and drove in 92 runs. But, you know, up until last year, he's had a hard time staying healthy. And even last year, he only played, I think, in 94 games, but he hit, you know, 318 combination with the A's and Cincinnati, but we got to keep that guy healthy one way or the other. He might have to live in the training room. We got to be able to run him out there a lot.
So maybe not another bat for the Padres, and Coach Kentera joining us here today on San Diego Sports 760. But they're definitely going to be adding another arm, so we think, a starting pitcher. Coach, you got your eyes on anybody out there, someone who could come in with a team-friendly deal because it's going to have to be cheap, but you got your eyes on anyone who could be added to this Padres starting rotation?
Not right now. You know, I think when you know the four guys that are already in the rotation, and again, you know, with Pivetta and King, they're going to be 1-2. However, they start the year. It doesn't matter. They're both number one pitchers in my mind. Joe Musgrove, you certainly pen him in. You don't pencil him in, but hopefully, you know, he's able to regain his command. That's normally what happens, guys. And I think a lot of people that follow baseball understand this. When you come back from Tommy John, you're going to have good velocity and your arm's going to be feeling pretty good. But you have a hard time early on usually finding that control on all your different pitches. And, you know, some guys, it doesn't take as long as others. So, you know, Joe's going to be very much a work in progress and how much he's able to get done in spring and see if he's really and truly ready to roll on, you know, day one. And then Randy Vasquez, who made a great jump last year from his first year with a starter and 2024 for the Padres, and last year he did a great job. ERA under 4, and I think he'll continue to get better. He's still a young pitcher, but you know, you got Kyle Hart, you got JP Sears, you've got Marco Gonzalez, who's had a pretty good big league career coming off an injury. You got Matt Waldron, who can probably help you from time to time as a starter, and then a guy named Tristan McKenzie, who was with Cleveland. He got a big arm, but if you look at his numbers haven't been good, but he does have a lot of ability. See if Ruben Niebla can kind of unlock some things there. But, you know, the story the other day, Fletch, they were talking about Zach Gallen. There's no way Zach Gallen's coming here. I mean, I can't believe the Padres are going to get tires on everybody because they want to kind of get the lay of the land. But Zach Gallen turned down that qualifying offer of a little over $22 million by Arizona. And, you know, he's going to sit out there. Maybe they overplayed their hand a little bit, but I think they're going to sit out there, wait for somebody to really need a pitcher badly because of an injury during spring training. And he'll probably get his money. It might be a shorter term contract. He may end up going back to Arizona as well. Arizona may give him that $22 million if he comes back and said, hey, I want to come back and be a Diamondback. But if the Padres would sign Zach Gallen, they'd have to give up a second-round pick in the draft this year, a fifth-round pick, and they'd also have to lose $1 million on their international signing bonuses. So they're not going to do that.
Coach, looking around the NL West, the Giants get Luis Arraez, the Diamondbacks make the big move for Nolan Arenado. How do you evaluate those two teams? Like, if we take the Dodgers out of it, do you think the Padres have the highest upside of those three, or do you disagree?
Well, I want to say the Padres do. I think our everyday lineup, Sammy, is really good. I think obviously we're going to be a little bit better behind the plate starting day one than we were a year ago with Freddie Fermin. You know, a good defensive catcher, but brings a lot more than Maldonado and Diaz did offensively. And, you know, I'm hoping Campusano can come in and just be relaxed. And I think with Craig Stammen as the skipper, Stammen's, you know, thrown to him. I mean, he's got firsthand knowledge and he knows the strengths and weaknesses of Campusano, but I think this is going to be Luis's last opportunity. He's out of options. If Padres want to send him down, they're going to have to put him through waivers. I'm sure somebody would pick him up. They're always looking to pick up catchers. So, but you take a look at our everyday lineup. Yeah, granted, Machado and Bogarts are getting a little bit older. Cronenworth's got to get a little bit better. Gavin Sheets, I'm going to hold down first base from what we heard. If he does anything close to what he did a year ago, that'll be great. In the outfield, super. I mean, Ramon Laureano coming off a great year last year. Granted, he broke that finger and missed the playoffs, but and Jackson Merrill will be healthy. Fernando, hopefully he can stay healthy. I mean, that's a heck of an outfield right there. And then you throw in Andujar either at first base occasionally or DH. That's a pretty good everyday lineup. But I think our pitching staff is going to be okay. I think AJ and Salmon are going to figure that out. I think our bullpen is going to be as good as anybody in baseball, quite frankly.
Coach, when you think about it, like Manny Machado is pretty much as consistent as it comes as a big league player. Like I feel like we know what we're going to get out of Manny once again this year. Xander Bogaerts, who knows? Hope is the best strategy when it comes to Xander. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is the guy who I'm hoping this year you see a serious turnaround because he went from a guy in his first couple of years as you're thinking, oh, this might be the face of baseball one day, to right now a really good defensive right fielder and a really good bat, but not special. Right. And for Fernando Tatis Jr., how does he get back to being special, Coach?
Well, I think he's got to go up there and be himself. And, he got to go up and swing the bat and look to drive the ball out of the ballpark. The first two swings, look to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And once you get two strikes, spread out, put the ball in play. He's got good enough power just to have a two-strike approach and hit the ball out of the ballpark. But he can cut down on his swing a little bit. He's got to do better than 268. He's got to do better than 24, 25 home runs. I thought, you go back a few years, I figured, man, this guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. And he very well may. But right now, he's not putting together Hall of Fame type seasons by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, we talk more about Fernando's defense than we do his offense these days. And 3-4 years ago, we were talking about offense, especially the year when he hit 42 home runs. So, he's got to get rolling. And Jackson Merrill just got to stay healthy. I mean, I'm not a big proponent. I never have when I was coaching. I've gotten into a lot of arguments with players over the years about the head first slide. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the old pop-up slide for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into on the radio right now. But, guys go in there and he got himself a concussion last year going head first. And, I don't know why guys do that. I really don't, but they do. And a lot of guys put themselves on the IL. And when you put yourself on the IL going head first, you hurt the ball club because you can't be in the lineup.
Coach, you got some UCSD Tritons tonight?
Yeah, Triton's been struggling. They've dropped 3 out of their last 4. They got UC Davis, who's playing really well. Jim Les, who used to play in the NBA, he's been their head coach for 15 years. They're playing pretty well. They've won 3 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. So it's going to be a really good college basketball game tonight at 7 at Lion Tree Arena. And Steve Quist and I doing the game on ESPN Plus. So we're looking forward to that. And we got another game on Saturday. They've got UC Riverside coming in. Triton's got to get it rolling. They got 16 wins right now. They got to keep pressing the envelope a little bit.
I like it. And Coach, by the way, since you started talking, Team USA has scored 2 more goals. So it is 4-1 now at the end of the second period. It started to really pour it on Latvia. So Coach, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you. And every time you call, it looks like Team USA starts scoring. So that's a good thing.
That's great. Well, you guys continue. I had somebody come up to me the other day and said, "Hey, I heard you last Wednesday on with Fletch and Sammy." I go, "Yeah, baseball sees them on quite a bit." Oh, that's great. He goes, "We listen to Fletch and Sammy every day, so you got people out there listening, my friends."
That sounds good to us. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you as always, and we'll check in soon.
All righty, Fletch. You and Sammy have a great day.
You too, my friend. And you're going to have a great day right now if you're listening, because we got Charlie Puth tickets available for you. April 22nd, Viejas Arena. The man who sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl this year, Charlie Puth, is coming to San Diego. If you want to go see him, 877-767-4760. The number 8 is popping into my head right now, so we'll give it to caller number 8. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Honestly, a little embarrassed to admit this, Sammy. I had no idea this was true until I got a DM from our buddy Jamar, who's in on YouTube all the time. Did you know this?
What?
Love is Blind has a new season out on Netflix.
Oh, I did not know that.
Can't believe this. I'm sorry I let everybody down. I should have been watching.
I gotta be honest, I've never watched an episode of Love is Blind.
Taking notes diligently. I apologize for letting the people of San Diego down.
Wait, is that the
to do better?
Is that the one where they can't see each other?
Yes.
And they're talking to a wall?
Is Love blind, Sammy? The only one way to find out.
The only one I watch is you ever seen F-Boy Island?
I have. Well, I know about it. I have not seen an episode.
It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. It's like 50 dudes and there's like 3 girls, and then when they start yelling at each other because they're all competing. Oh my God. Comedy gold.
I never liked reality TV in my life until I met my wife. Like, I liked Survivor. I've always liked Survivor. Survivor 50 is coming up. But outside of that, I've never really watched reality TV. And then I married Kendall, and she got control of the TV remote the day we said I do. And now ever since then, it's reality TV is just on my TV.
Does Kendall know it's fake?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. No, she buys into it. I don't know that she does know it's fake, but I've told her this in the past, and she just gets mad and keeps watching. But
what happens when you say there's a reason why the one no one likes always stays till the end?
Love Island, Love is Blind, Housewives are these types of things where I start on my phone watching something else, and then all of a sudden, as the show goes on, my eyes start drifting slowly up, and they can be a lot of fun. So new season of Love is Blind is out, and I promise you that's going to be on our TV a little later on tonight. All right, our buddy Rich on YouTube jumping in saying, nice thing about waiting until Castellanos got cut is that the Padres can only pay the league minimum. The Phillies pay the rest of the 20 mil. We'll see on Castellanos. I don't think it'd be a bad idea at all.
Be a good ad.
To get some power into the lineup. That's what they were missing last year. It makes sense to me. And then I got logged out of the text line.
I'll run through them. 619 says Sammy slobbering over his USC guy. Typical.
God, if it's Caleb Williams versus Sam Darnold in the NFC Championship next year, we're in trouble.
I don't think that praising a guy for winning a Super Bowl in a tough NFC is slobbering, but that's fine. 858, Darnold did not have a good game. Lots of bad decisions. Ended up as incomplete passes. The Seattle defense scored as many touchdowns as the offense did. How I would respond to that is Darnold wasn't asked to because they were working with the big lead the entire game. And we finished off with 913. Coach is a legend.
Coach is a legend. Jamar saying my girl got me hooked on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last season, and I am hooked.
Shout out to the 91. What's the Beverly Hills zip code? 90210.
90210. Yeah, Jamar, try. Damn it, what's the name of the Housewives that I like? I can't remember, but there's one that's on the East Coast.
They made an impression on you, didn't they?
I can't remember which one it is, but it's the best one by far. Most people like Salt Lake City the best. I'm telling you, there's one on the East Coast. It's
What's like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? I heard that's crazy.
Kendall watches that one. I heard
that one's nuts.
They drink a lot of soda. I know that. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We're out of here for today. John Schaefer is coming up next. Everyone, turn on, go root for Team USA tonight in the Olympics, man. We're having some fun with that. See you tomorrow.